Imagine insta-killing champions without even shooting them, and in some situations, insta-killing champions before they even spawn in. You don't even see them. With the power of Solar 3.0, we have gained the access to quite the amount of new features, new abilities, such as Restoration, Scorch, Ignitions, and so forth. Especially at the moment with some of these Season 17 mods, we have quite the amount of abilities that we can do. Now, therefore, I just want to say that even when this season ends, this setup is still going to be able to absolutely rip apart enemies. I've used the setup with and without Solar Fulmination, and it has absolutely destroyed champions instantly. Now, with our fun little intro out the way, let's go ahead and take a look into the build breakdown. I'm still using an Empowering Rift, Burst Glide, obviously, Incinerator Snap, and then I'm still sticking with a Fusion Grenade, just because these do apply quite the amount of stacks of Scorch. I believe it's 40. Each time they explode, and with Touch of Flame, they explode twice. So, yeah, we're still going to be using Touch of Flame, Icarus Dash, because I love that movement speed, baby. And we got our Ember of Wonder for a little bit of resilience, and, you know, this could be useful for creating orders, all the ignitions that we're going to be able to do. Ember of Eruption to make our ignitions have increased area of effect. Ember of Empyrean to extend our Restoration and Radiant, and then Ember of Ashes to apply more Scorch. Now, for the exotic of choice here, I'm going to go with the Dawn Chorus. Now, look, I love using the well and everything, but this thing does buff the Daybreak. If you want to use Daybreak, hey, go for it. Do your thing, do your thing. But the main thing is that we're going to get extra Scorch damage passively, and we're going to gain a bit of small melee energy each time our Scorch affects damage a target, which is going to be pretty damn consistent. Something I do want to note is that the ignitions, that does kind of splash, and you can actually put on Wrath of Rasputin to spawn solar wells if you choose to. Now, keep in mind, things like Explosive Wellmaker and Bountiful Wells are very, very strong here as well. I do still have Elemental Ordnance just because we're going to have pretty consistent Fusion Grenades, not as insanely consistent as the Starfire build, just for obvious reasons. But Elemental Armaments is going to be very, very nice here as well. Mainly just want to have two forms of creating Elemental Wells, whether it's EA or EO, Explosive Wellmaker, either of those, and then you want to definitely have Bountiful Wells here, 1000%. And then on the class mod, definitely put on Class E Restoration and then Solar Fulmination for those ignitions to have increased damage and increased radius. Yes, sir. For your stats for Season 17, since we have Class E Restoration, you can totally just focus on Resilience and Discipline if you want. For the future, I would definitely try and get a Recovery Resilience armor set. I am working on that myself. And then for the weapons, the two main weapons that we are going for here is going to be the Callus Mini Tool. This is an SMG that does get incandescent. We have the enhanced version of it, which is very, very strong. It makes a longer lasting Scorch, which is very, very nice. And I believe it does a hidden effect of making it do more damage. And then for some chunkier targets, that's where we have our fixed odds here. I've crafted this thing and I have loved using it ever since. Enhanced Incandescent and Field Prep make this thing an absolute truck. A behemoth has plenty of ammo and absolutely rips through hordes of enemies. But that's mainly it for our loadout. You mainly just want to have two forms of creating Elemental Wells and then have Bountiful Wells, and definitely have Dawn Chorus as your exotic. Your weapon exotic, honestly, bro, doesn't really matter too much since we have two weapons with Enhanced Incandescent. Your kinetic slot's kind of free. I was just kind of playing around with having a Lingering Dread, you know, some form of blinding grenades. Maybe you want to run a Wither Horde, and harder content where you need to kill champions. Anti-barrier Overload, easy to deal with. Overload Unstoppable, that's where you would have an unstoppable kinetic, whatever it may be. But with the free slot like this, you're able to have a lot of versatility into what you're using. You can use this in higher content to deal with those stupid champions that no one likes to deal with anymore. And overall, this setup absolutely rips. Now, just a few quick notes I want to mention real quick is that I know some people are going to be questioning, where do you even get the fixed odds? That gun does seem a little bit rare. That gun actually drops from the Duality Dungeon. I've gotten 7 red bordered fixed odds, all from Keitel. I know some people might still be overlooking some of the LMGs, but the fixed odds is definitely one you should not look over. And I know some people are going to be questioning where it might drop, so figure we go ahead and answer that question there. Anyways, go ahead, light the galaxy ablaze, and subscribe.